What if I told you that fixing your blood sugar has almost nothing to do with cutting carbs and everything to do with adding the right foods? I've worked with hundreds of patients who brought their numbers down in days, not months, just by adding 10 specific foods to what they were already eating. And the changes held, not for a few weeks, but for years, often without medication. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all 10, exactly how to use them, and why they work at a cellular level to reverse insulin resistance. Before we start, if you want more videos that explain the why behind your body instead of just handing you a prescription, hit subscribe and drop a comment with your fasting glucose number this week. I read every one, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the insulin problem. Here's what almost never gets explained in a rushed office visit. High blood sugar starts upstream with a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to unlock your cells so glucose can move out of your bloodstream and into the cell where it's actually used for energy. After years of blood sugar spikes, your cells stop responding. Insulin knocks and the door stays shut. That's insulin resistance. Your pancreas compensates by pumping out more insulin, your blood sugar climbs anyway, and the usual next step is a medication that adds even more insulin into a system that's already overloaded. Nobody sits you down and explains how food talks directly to your insulin receptors, so that's what we're doing today. I'm Dr. Alex Varsakis, and every food on this list does one of three things. It slows sugar absorption, it cools the inflammation, keeping your cells deaf to insulin, or it wakes the receptor back up. You don't need to start all 10 tomorrow. Layer them in over a couple of weeks. Food number 1, fenugreek seeds. First up, fenugreek seeds. Small, amber, sold cheap in any spice aisle, and one of the most underrated blood sugar tools out there. Fenugreek is rich in a soluble fiber that turns into a thick gel in your stomach. That gel slows how fast carbohydrates move into your bloodstream, so sugar trickles in instead of flooding in. Less flooding means less insulin panic. It also contains a compound that helps your pancreas release insulin more efficiently and helps your muscles absorb glucose. How to use it. Soak 1 teaspoon of whole seeds in water overnight, then drink the water and eat the softened seeds before breakfast. If the bitterness is too much, grind them and stir into yogurt or eggs. Start with a small amount. This fiber is strong. Food number 2, Ceylon cinnamon. But the type matters. Most grocery store cinnamon is cassia, which contains a compound that's hard on the liver in large daily amounts. Look for Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes labeled true cinnamon. It's gentler and safe for daily use. The plant compounds in cinnamon act almost like insulin themselves, helping receptors grip glucose more tightly and slowing digestion after meals. 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon a day, stirred into coffee, oatmeal, or a smoothie, paired with a carb-containing meal, is where you'll see the benefit. Food number 3, broccoli sprouts. Third, and this one's the most overlooked food on the entire list, broccoli sprouts, not full-grown broccoli. The sprouts contain dramatically more of a compound called sulforaphane than the mature vegetable. Sulforaphane acts on your liver and quiets down the glucose it produces overnight, which is exactly why so many people wake up with a high fasting number despite not eating anything while asleep. Grow them yourself in a jar or buy them fresh. 1/4 cup on a salad or sandwich most days is enough. Keep them raw. Heat destroys the active compound. Food number 4, avocado. Number 4, avocado. Most people avoid it thinking fat, but the fat in avocado is monounsaturated, the same family as olive oil, and it's one of the most blood sugar-friendly foods you can eat. Adding avocado to a carb-containing meal doesn't remove the carbs. It slows how fast they hit your bloodstream. Over time, this type of fat also improves how well your cells respond to insulin. Half an avocado a day on eggs, toast, or a salad softens the blood sugar impact of whatever else is on the plate. Food number 5, chia seeds. Fifth, chia seeds. Like fenugreek, chia forms a thick gel when it meets liquid, and that gel wraps around the carbohydrates in a meal, slowing their absorption and preventing the spike and crash cycle. Chia also contains a plant-based omega-3 that helps calm the low-grade inflammation sitting underneath insulin resistance. 1 to 2 tablespoons a day in yogurt, water, or a smoothie does the job. Just give it 10 minutes to gel and drink plenty of water alongside it. Food number 6, fatty fish. Specifically salmon and mackerel. This one works differently. It targets the inflammation that caused the insulin resistance in the first place. The omega-3 fats in fatty fish are powerful natural anti-inflammatories. They calm inflammatory signals at the cell membrane, which allows the insulin receptor to start functioning properly again. Aim for 2 palm-sized servings a week. Wild salmon, mackerel, sardines, or canned versions all work, and canned is one of the cheapest options on this whole list. Food number 7, walnuts. 7th, walnuts. They're rich in polyunsaturated fat and the same plant omega-3 found in chia, which supports the lining of your blood vessels, one of the first things damaged by high blood sugar. The fat, fiber, and protein combination also blunts post-meal blood sugar spikes and has been linked to lower fasting insulin. A small handful, about a quarter cup, roughly 7 to 10 walnuts, swapped in for a processed snack turns a spike into a flat line. Food number 8, whole eggs. 8th, whole eggs, yolk included. The yolk got an undeserved bad reputation for years, and that advice pushed people towards cereal, which is far worse for blood sugar. Eggs are almost pure protein and fat with virtually no carbohydrate, so on their own they barely move your blood sugar. But the real benefit is what's called the second meal effect. Starting your day with eggs steadies your blood sugar not just at breakfast, but through lunch. 2 to 3 eggs in the morning, paired with that avocado from earlier, makes for a strong baseline breakfast. Food number 9, apple cider vinegar. 9th, apple cider vinegar, the fastest visible effect on this entire list if you're tracking with a glucose meter. The acetic acid in vinegar slows stomach emptying and helps your muscles pull glucose out of the blood for fuel. 1 tablespoon diluted in a full glass of water 10 to 15 minutes before a carb-containing meal has been shown to meaningfully blunt the after-meal spike. Always dilute it. Undiluted vinegar is hard on your teeth and throat, and if you're on blood sugar medication, talk to your doctor first, since combining the two can drop your sugar faster than expected. And food number 10, lentils. 10th, and this one proves the whole point of the video. Lentils are a carbohydrate, and they still lower your blood sugar. Lentils combine resistant starch with soluble fiber and plant protein, so the glucose inside releases slowly over hours instead of all at once. Swapping white rice or potato for lentils a few times a week is one of the most reliable ways to bring down long-term blood sugar averages. Half a cup to a cup a few times a week in a soup, stew, or cold salad. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Maria, 61 years old, fasting sugars sitting around 180, and her doctor had just told her it was time for a second medication. She didn't want to keep climbing that ladder. We didn't cut her carbs to nothing. We added eggs and avocado for breakfast, vinegar before meals, lentils instead of rice, walnuts instead of her afternoon snack, fatty fish twice a week, cinnamon in her coffee, and broccoli sprouts on her lunch sandwich. Within a week, her fasting numbers started dropping. Within 3 months, working with her own doctor, she came off that second medication entirely. 2 years later, it's held. She didn't starve, she added the right things, and her body did the rest. One important line before we wrap up. If you're on insulin or an older blood sugar medication, these foods can lower your sugar fast enough to make your current dose too strong, which can cause a dangerous low. Add these with your doctor watching your numbers and never adjust your prescription on your own. Bring this list to your next appointment instead. Here's your plan for tonight. Swap tomorrow's breakfast for eggs and avocado. Soak fenugreek seeds tonight. Buy Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia. Take vinegar before your biggest meal tomorrow, and swap in lentils and fatty fish at least twice this week. Stack these in over 2 weeks. You're not removing what you love, you're adding what protects you. Now, a lot of you have told me your highest reading of the entire day is first thing in the morning, before you've eaten a single bite. There's a specific reason your liver does that overnight, and there's a way to shut it down. I made a full video on exactly that. It's right here on screen. Go watch that one next, and I'll see you there.